One of my favorite quotes is, failure is proof that you at least tried. And it is something that I didn't understand until after I took my biggest loss, which cost me my mental health, my house, friendships, and a lot of money. $1 million to be exact. I really wanted to do this video because recently I did an interview with Business Insider, and when she finishes the editing, I'll leave a link down below. One of the things I told the interviewer was that the best thing that ever happened to me was failing. And I know that sounds crazy. I feel that this is the perfect video because even though a lot of stuff happened to me, I think that a lot of people believe that I would have preferred to just be the bank teller that was making, you know, $30,000 a year, who was practicing minimalism, had my paid off car. I think that people believe that I should have just stayed there, and me venturing out and starting a business destroyed my life. However, it really didn't. And I really want to talk about this because if you're someone who wants to start a business, if you're someone who wants to go all in with your content, or anything where you may fail, this is the perfect video for you. Just a little backstory on me if you're new here. I was a minimalist. I was someone who lived by the code of Dave Ramsey. If you don't need it, don't buy it. I became debt free at 25, bought my first home, and I was very frugal. I didn't get my nails done. I still don't. But I didn't do anything for myself. I was very cheap. If my friends had a birthday dinner, I would go and just get an appetizer. It was insane. One day a friend came to me and told me that I was not living the life that I should. I had an 800 credit score. There's so much I could do to change my life and to create generational wealth. And I fell for the scam because at that time, especially during the pandemic, you remember everyone and their mama had a course on something. People were making money. So I thought about it for a year. And finally I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to bet on myself. I started a rental car business that crashed and burned, literally. I'll show you pictures. At the time that this was all happening, I hated myself. I hated my life. I was not able to get out of the bed. I thought my life was over. How could I go from having it all figured out, doing everything the right way, to now being on the verge of losing my home, down to my last $5? Credit score was a 400, okay? And this is not gonna be a story where now I'm rich and successful and everything worked out. No, it's not that. I'm still going through stuff now. I just did a video about me not having a place, not having a car, not having a job. So it's not that life went perfect. This is my favorite version of me, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, I can't stress enough that I truly believe that failure is necessary to be successful. In order to succeed, you have to fail. My old manager used to say, fail forward, because ultimately, if you're trying something that you don't have any experience in and that you've never done before, there's a chance that you might fail. Even if you have experience, you might fail. Failing is the thing that you're doing didn't go right. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. The business failed, or the way you did something failed, but you're not the failure. And that's something that I had to learn over time. I don't regret taking that risk. Another thing that I loved about failing is you learn who is real and who is fake. When I was the most successful and I was on my high, I had the most friends. And I'm not talking about like my day one friends. I'm talking about people wanted to be my friend because they saw what I was doing and they saw I was getting cars and they thought I was cool, and they were like, oh, I want to be cool with this girl because she might put me on game. You start running into a bunch of mooches. I started getting asked for loans all the time from people who hadn't talked to me for a couple months, but they talked to me long enough to get the loan that they needed, and then they would cut me off. I was in a relationship with a man who never liked me. I can look back and say that now, but he was only using me to level up. And my family tried to tell me, oh no, he liked you, he loved you, girl. No, he did not like me at all. He liked what I did for him. I don't think he knows one thing about me, like not even my birthday, okay? It's a lot of fakes that come when you're on your high. None of them were there when I got to my low. I had no one to call on. You will start to learn who's really for you and who's not. I really liked being liked. I'm someone who was very to myself, and you know, people really didn't like hanging out with me because I was so cheap and stuff. So to go from that to everybody wanting to be my friend, it was like, oh, you know, wow, like I like this. And I really did like the attention and the respect that I was getting, but it's all fake, okay? Just trust me on that. And I wanted to really say this, be careful what you post online. You will never know if people are genuine if they think that you have a lot going on. I had a bunch of friends. I looked through my old phone, I had 103 contacts. Right now I only have like 26. That goes to show that it was a lot of fake people around me. And you know what stung is when I was drowning and I couldn't get out of bed and I was really down, I didn't even have to put my phone on D&D. I had nothing to give nobody, so nobody called me. I would tell you this, just be careful with who you allow into your circle. They should have just as much going for themselves, if not more, okay? Something else that I took from failing was tough skin. I was very soft. I let people walk all over me when I tell you, because I just had a good heart. Oh my God, she needs a car because she's a single mom and she needs some help. And she would give it to her bum boyfriend. Or I would have customers who worked with me for a long time and they said, oh, I can't pay this week. And because you work with me so long, I'm like, I got you, you good for that week. They took advantage. Some people do stuff genuinely because they want to help people, but other times you feel like you're supposed to. I got all these cars, I could give them one. Or I got this money coming in, I could give people some. I feel like you're obligated to do that, but you're really not. You don't owe people for simply having less than you, okay? Understand that. You don't owe people for that. When you help people, make sure it's something that you don't want back and it doesn't affect you. Let's say you own a business where you sell hair. You giving people free hair affects you. Okay, that's how you feed your family. Stop looking out for people. You can't do it. Let business be business, okay? Let business be business. Let personal be personal, and keep your personal money to yourself. People shouldn't know how much you have. I remember I had a good month and I posted a screenshot of it. Don't let people think you got too much, because then they're gonna start asking you for stuff all the time and it's hard to say no. So speaking of tough skin, that's another thing I had to learn, was to say no to people. I was way too nice. Don't allow yourself to get scammed, okay? I don't let people play with me, my time, my money no more. Because I'm not afraid of speaking up. I don't care if you like me or not, right? And that's not me being mean, but that is me being serious about my coin. So just, if you start off that way, don't worry about being liked, because you don't gain nothing from being liked, honestly. You really actually get used more. Kind of be a little tough, like a little, I don't play that. And if you're a woman, act like you're married. I'm just kidding. Something else I learned from failing, and this is kind of getting a little technical about just business in general. I didn't structure my business right. I really want y'all to understand that your business should be your business. It should have its own social security number, aka EIN. I did not structure my business right, and ultimately it cost me a lot. So here's the thing, and it's not financial advice or legal advice. For me, and what happened to me, I had my LLC and I had it structured with the EIN, the address, registered agent. I did that right. When it came time for financing for my business and getting lending for my business, I didn't do it right. You do not want to personally guarantee anything for your business, because what that is saying is, if something happens, that means they coming after you. I was sued 6 times, and that's just from car accidents. That's not including the other stuff. But I was sued 6 times. And had I known what I know now, I would have done things totally different, okay? There's a lot of free information on the internet. Just do your due diligence. I do not want you to take number 5 as me being bitter. Don't trust no one. Money makes people do some strange things. The way people, like I just told y'all, want to get in with you when you got some money and you got some stuff cooking where they think they can get a piece of the pie. Don't trust nobody. Nobody. I don't even care how close you are. Don't do business with friends and family. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion, but I'm genuinely not coming from a bad place when I say don't trust no one, and this is not just me being scorned. When you have a lot going and people can see that, everybody don't have good intentions. Don't trust your accountant. Don't trust nobody. Nobody. Not a soul. Even when it comes to attorneys, because I promise you, they don't always have your best interest either. Sometimes they're looking for the most money. Don't trust nobody. Always get a second, third, fourth, fifth opinion on everything. I mean, I'm gonna say it last time. Don't trust nobody. Casey, what I just say?
Don't trust nobody.
Don't trust nobody. You have to move and be able to move in your business by yourself as much as possible. Hire professionals that have good reviews. But other than that, don't trust a soul. When I tell you, I could name everyone who did me dirty, but it would take less time to name the people who actually did me right, because it's only like 2 of them. since I talk too much, I kind of missed some points, so I don't know what number we on. But another big point that I want to make when it comes to failing, like one of the greatest lessons that I learned from failing, people gonna be happy that you failed. When I lost everything, people were happy. Even if you are genuinely a nice person, it doesn't matter. They are gonna be happy that you're failing. And I hate to say this because this is no shade to my people, because I love y'all. Y'all know I tell y'all all my business. People were so happy in my comments when I was talking about filing bankruptcy. Even recently, I did a video about not having a job, a car, and a place, and you could just tell people were trying to give me advice and criticism. I'm still proud of myself for betting on myself, and I wouldn't be who I am today without all that stuff that happened. And like I say, I like me. I really do like me. There's nothing that anybody could do to make me feel bad about myself except for talk about my parenting. Am I a bad parent?
No.
Okay.
So pretty.
Thanks. People saying stuff, you're gonna hear a lot of people giving you feedback or criticism or trying to look out for you, but they're really just trying to make you feel even worse about your situation. That's really, to be honest, the only people I trust was, you know, really my mama, my cousin too, who's also an entrepreneur, because she gets it. But ultimately, people gonna be glad to see that you down. So my biggest thing, sorry, another piece of advice, if I could tell you, don't tell nobody what's going on with you. Nobody needs to know, because you thinking that you gotta stay space, talking to your mama, talking to your sister, talking to whoever, and ultimately that can get out. They might repeat it back to somebody. Everybody in my family knew my business, okay? And this was before I started posting about it online. This was when I wasn't ready to tell anyone. Everyone knew my business. I feel like the best thing that I could tell you is to move in silence, fail in silence, grow in silence. Luckily, I didn't really need anything in my low season, but if you are someone who needs something, like, don't be afraid of asking. That's not what I'm trying to say. Don't struggle by yourself, but what I'm saying is make sure that that stays between you and that person, and if it gets out, then you know it was that person, and then y'all can fall out. But don't tell everybody what you got going on. Be private. Now here's where I give myself some props. I avoided lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is where as your income goes up, so do your expenses. At the time, I was making about $25,000 a month, and I did not upgrade my lifestyle. I didn't upgrade and get my brand new apartment, even though I did make the money for it, because I was definitely finna move to Atlantic Station. I love Atlantic Station. I love it over there. I didn't start getting my nails done. I didn't start going on a bunch of trips. I really was still paying attention to my money, and a part of that minimalism Kiki kicked in, and I'm so glad that she did, because yeah, I definitely didn't go overboard. Definitely didn't go overboard. When you start your business, again, what I was saying about keeping the entities separate, your business income is not your income. I mean, of course you can use some of it to pay bills and do what you need to do. Keep it separate. Don't just upgrade your lifestyle based off of, no, don't do it. Don't upgrade your car, none of that. Keeping your expenses low is really the life hack, okay? Last but not least, failure taught me that anything is possible. When I tell you, I feel like anything is possible. I think it took me to lose $1 million and to be $1 million in debt to see how easy it is to get $1 million. Because even though I lost it, I still had it. I want you to understand that everything that happens to you is a part of your prayer. I went to church not too long ago, and in this sermon, she said, if God told you what was about to happen before you got your big blessing, right, and you really started walking to your purpose, if God showed you what it was going to take to get there, you would say no thank you. If somebody told me I'd be $1 million in debt, I was going to lose my house, I was going to have high-speed chases, I was going to be dealing with scammers, getting cursed out by GSP, Georgia State Police Department, because they are a-holes. If somebody told me that version of me, what was about to happen, I would have said, you can double it and give it to the next person, because I'm not doing that. I would have never done that. Heck no. It was so bad. No matter what God promised me at the end, I would have said no. Now, I'm down for the challenge. Whatever I need to do and whatever I need to go through to, first of all, put my message out, because I feel like I'm a living testimony to someone. I hope when some people watch my videos, they feel like, you know what, life doesn't end when you make a mistake. Life doesn't end when that business fails and you got to start all over. Life doesn't end when you're 30 years old and you got to start all over. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I hope people gain when they watch me, first of all. But also, when I think about my life, I was just planning on taking my sabbatical and going back to the bank. The end. I feel like there's so many possibilities for me now, and I'm so open to what God has for me. A lot of times when we see the hurdles and when things look bad, and like I said, it looks like destruction, this is a part of our prayer. A lot of things happen to remove the old version of us so that we can be prepared for what's about to come. I'm glad I went through that because it made me stronger, it made me better, it made me think bigger. That's all that failure is, okay? It's a part of your success journey, right? It's one of the steps. But if you talk to any millionaire, if you look up the story of any millionaire, they didn't just wake up and become a millionaire and everything worked out. That's not how it works. You go through your highs, you go through your lows, but it's all a part of the process. This is all a part of the process, okay? Respect every chapter of your book, not just the good parts, because it makes you more grateful. There's something really big coming for you that's gonna change not only your life, but other people's lives. You think that you're gonna have this basic story of everything being easy for you? It's just not like that. Sorry, not when you're destined for greatness. Your story is gonna have some tests for that testimony, okay? So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you took something from it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, let me know what's something you're gonna try. What's that thing that you haven't been wanting to do because you're afraid of it failing? Tell me in the comments. Let's go ahead and set this goal for 2026. All right, and I will see you all in the next video.